welcome back. Now you do have 3 pages. However, you can do this webinar in 2 pages, depending on how you want to do it. Obviously, the first part of the process is you want to determine what you want to happen when the individual registers for the webinar. So you're going to first look to the automation rules. You're then going to click on Add Rule. You'll then click on Trigger. And then what you want the trigger to be is when the individual is registered to a webinar. You'll then set the action. You'll then determine how you want the individual to be identified. Typically, you're going to want to at least add a tag. You will also then want to subscribe the individual to a campaign. And what we also want, obviously, is we want to have an email sent to that individual. Now, you will need to have a campaign selected. We're just going to select a campaign for the sake of this video. And you are also going to want to have an email that you want to have sent. This is a good place where if you want to give individuals a direct link to where they can watch the webinar, you want to give it to them. Now, currently, we do not have an email set up. So for the sake of this video, we're just going to delete this element. What we could do also is to set up a different email campaign and have the individual added to that campaign. We're going to select the tag and we're going to save the rule. What we then want to do is want to configure the webinar registration page. We're going to edit the page. And we want to make sure to collect the individual's name and email address. And then we're going to click the button. And we'll notice here that when the individual submits the form, that the system will take that individual to the next step in the process. So we can now click Save Changes. And we can now exit this page. What we can then do, we don't have to necessarily use the webinar broadcast page. What we could do is to go to this webinar page. We could configure that page, and we can configure a specific page. That's necessary to demonstrate where this page comes from. We're going to change the page template so that we can see it. You'll notice here that some of the pages allow for you to have the webinar on this page, and that's one of the templates we want to select. So we've got a webinar so that it happens on this page. We can configure the page. And this is where we're going to add in the video that is going to autoplay. Once we do that, we're then going to click Save Changes. We'll then exit the page. We can now delete this page because we no longer need the page. And our funnel is now ready to be placed on our digital store page. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.